larger than life. He'll give you strife. He's Todd. He's tall, he's mean, he's labeling machine. He's Todd. Rides a motorbike, he'll tell you what it's like. He's Todd. Don't know what he'll say, he'll scare the kids away. He's Todd. He's Todd.
He'll scare the kids away, huh? Well, once again, thanks, Dan Cobb, for that catchy tune. I love it. Hey, thanks for showing up again this week. Hope everybody's well out there. I'm trying a new mic this week. Hopefully everyone can hear me. It's one of these newfangled wireless mics, but coming to you live from Todd's Garage here in Carlsbad, California. We've got a little bit of May gray followed by June gloom. So hopefully the sun comes out so I can get my bike out for a ride. Speaking of going outside, I'm kind of excited for a couple of things. Got me a new Indian mask to go with my other Indian scarf and my other. So you know what, no matter where I am, I can be fashionable now that we're required to wear masks here in the state of California anytime we go outdoors, and there's some other rules that go with that. But anyway, I appreciate you showing up. I've got Jamie Brookover out there. Jamie, can you show your lovely face? Turn that camera on. There he is. Good morning, Jamie. Now, I purposely got Jamie on mute, and there's a lot of reasons why. His Tourette's sometimes act up, but he's on medication. He seems pretty well right now. So, Jamie,
I can hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, good morning, Jamie. So, listen, any questions or answers, please send those. Jamie's going to be answering those in the background. So please use and abuse Mr. Brookover back there. Couple other things. Another piece of exciting news, at least it's exciting to me, can't you tell? Brother has been approved for Big C CECs. And so stay tuned on that. I've done a training course, and we're going to have a launch site for that. So once that is up and running, please let us know. We're going to talk about some custom labels too at the end of this show. Miss Kelly Swift back there is going to show you a link. You can see I put up some new banners here that we've got going on in conjunction with you know, the current conditions, and we'll talk about that a little bit later too. So we got the CECs on board, and we're going to go through the P-Touch editor software today. I'm going to try and not say a whole lot. I'm giving so much crap about that, but again, welcome to BS with Todd. I just finished a big old honkin' BS sandwich, by the way, breakfast sausage, and there's a lot of things that BS stands for. I did catch myself cussing on air last week. Haven't heard from HR yet, or legal, so that's a good thing. Doesn't mean I can cuss anymore, but if I do make a slip, I hope I don't offend anybody out there. So anyway, this stands for Brother Solutions, and we're going to go through the software today. And most of today's webcast, I'm going to broadcast my screen, and I'm going to show you start to finish how easy it is to use. Now, unlike our competitor software, which I'm not allowed to mention our competitors, although, you know what, if you want to talk football, there was a very famous quarterback that was recently traded from the Patriots, Tom, I forget his last name. And anyway, anyway, but we're going to talk about software solutions. Number one, I can tell you our competitors, most of them charge for the software, a couple $100 up front, and then you have to pay additional licensing fees, and they're proprietary software, which means that they're not easy to use. When I was out in the field and I was using my now competitor products, it was not so fun using their software. It was kind of a pain. Our software, the P-Touch editor, is a Windows-based software. It's very easy to use. I'm going to show you how easy, even from you know, folks like me, not the sharpest tools in the shed. So with that being said, I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go into P-Touch Editor. I'm going to share my screen. This is the first time sharing the screen on here, so if I happen to screw it up, it is what it is. But again, no cost for the software. You can put it on as many PCs as you want with no additional licensing fees. Pardon me while oh, that brings up a line from a movie. I'm going to bring up my P-Touch Editor now, folks, and then I'll share my screen with you. There's another damn it. So let's go ahead. Let's share my P-Touch Editor, and we'll start from scratch on this. Share screen. So when you open up the P-Touch Editor, here's what you get. You can do all sorts of goofy things with this. Address labels and asset management. Now, the address labels, asset management, cables, panels, that all falls into kind of what we're doing, the caution signs about everything that we're doing out there is in here. But then you got cool little things like Christmas and crafting and all the kind of things I'm into. Crafting, whoo. We're going to focus on these two in the upper left-hand corner, which is the cable labeling wizard and the new layout. So primarily the software is designated to print from these two desktop machines here, all right? But it can be utilized with the PTE 550W as well. And so from scratch, all right, there's a neat little app in here that when you click on it, what you'll get is anything to do with electrical or low voltage. And let's just go ahead, and you can see there's a drop down menu, and I can do faceplates and heat shrink and cable flag and patch panels and all sorts of stuff. But let's go ahead and do a cable wrap. Now this drop down menu here, you can actually select what type of wire or cable you are going to wrap. You can do certain cable diameters, a certain circumference, Cat 5, Cat 6, coax, or you can pick the gauge. If I wanted to pick the gauge of wire, there's another drop down menu here for you electricians out there. But to make this very simple, very easy, let's go ahead and let's do some Cat 6A. Now what I want to do is I want to connect the database. So I've done a Excel spreadsheet ahead of time, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to connect that Excel spreadsheet. So by connecting, selecting connect database, clicking next, you can browse through your databases. Here I've got mine conveniently housed here. I'm going to bring up this one. All right. All you have to do is click next. Now, as you can see, it looks somewhat convoluted. All right. It's not. Because what we want to do is we want to autofill that cable wrap with identifiers based upon this spreadsheet. And there's a lot of different information on this spreadsheet. So as you can see, text 1 up here where it says layout object, here's your text 1. I want to fill that text with this drop-down menu of the cable ID. Now you can select from room numbers or phone numbers or names or IP addresses on this spreadsheet, because it's reading this spreadsheet in the different columns. But what I want to do is I want to select cable ID to auto-populate my text here. Once I click OK, you'll see down here, I've got a lot of different columns. I've got IP addresses, but now watch as I scroll down, and that identifier is now changing. I can do one of two things with this. I can dump this database inside of any one of these desktops, even the 550W, or I can have it tethered via the PC to either one of these machines here and just print directly from the software. All right, so again, it's very, very easy to use. And this looks somewhat convoluted up here, but one of the things you can do is you can switch to express mode. This is the way I like it, nice, simple, and easy. All right. I actually learned on the professional side of it, the Express. People seem to favor the Express. The user interface is a lot easier. It's easier to navigate through this, but you've got two options here. That really is easy as it gets as far as some of the applications we're doing out in the field. All right, now, I get a lot of questions on how did you create these custom labels that are sitting behind me? How did you put graphics on there? How did you put barcodes on there? And we're going to cover barcodes actually in a different segment. I do custom work for companies as well. That's a free service that Brother offers. So if you're an organization and you want, let's say, a service tag or asset management tags or whatever, you can reach out to me directly and I'm going to help assist you. And then we do have videos to back up my BS, if you will. And that's something we can also offer you as well, is the instructional videos on how to do this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with nothing. All right. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this thing out to, let's say, 3 inches. We're close to. All right. Now there's my template. So I'm starting from scratch and I want to create a service tag, if you will. All right. So I'm going to go up here to insert. I'm going to go to picture. Hopefully nothing pops up that's inappropriate. I think I got it pretty much cleaned up here. But I'm going to select a particular picture. In this case, I'm going to use a Brother logo. Now I can take this logo and I can put it anywhere on here. All right. The beautiful thing about this is that you can also resize it. So I'm thinking, you know, right now that's a little too big. All right. So I'm going to put it up in the left-hand corner. Now, a trick is once this is in place and you don't want to move it, or you don't want to hit your mouse and inadvertently move this thing, I'm going to diminish it just a little bit more. I'm going to right click. I'm going to go to properties. I'll go to expanded. All right. And right here, prevent movement or resizing with the mouse or the arrows. Once I click that and I hit OK, you're going to see a little red icon up here basically saying it's locked and there is nothing I can do with that, all right, which isn't bad. Now what I want to do is I want to connect the database to this because I want to print out a lot of labels, all right? So what I'll do is I'll hit File. I'm going to go to Database. I'm going to go to Connect to Database, all right? And let's browse again. Let's go to that very same database I was using. Enter a new name. No, I don't want to do that. Am I using that database? All right. So let's go ahead and let's click next. There's my database. All right. The beautiful thing about this is that I can copy any of this information and paste it anywhere on here. All right. So if I want to take this and I want to copy it, and let's say I want to paste it, I can paste it up here. All right. Now I can either paste this as text or barcode. In this case, I'm going to paste text and I'm going to move this up over here. All right. Now the beautiful thing is that you can see as I scroll down, this particular area up here changes. So as you print these labels out, it is going to follow the cadence based upon the column that you have here. All right, very simple, very easy. So then what I want to do is I want to come down to this one and I want to copy this and let's go ahead and let's throw it up here and we're going to do this. Now I want to paste it as a barcode this time. As you can see, I now have a QR code. Now as I scroll down, you can see that QR code changing. But now let's say this isn't the particular QR code. That QR code is now associated with that database. What I can do is I can pick, I don't want a QR code. I'm using a different type of protocol out in the field. So what I'll do is I'll go to properties. As you can see here, here's my protocol. I can change this to any one of these different type of barcodes. And we're going to go into this barcode stuff later on, and I'm going to, in the series, and I'm going to explain barcoding, if you will. You can see down here, there's general descriptions of, you know, the number of digits, you know, versus alpha and numeric. So it views alpha and numeric a little bit different. But if you go up here to, let's say, code 39, and I hit OK, again, you can see that barcode changes. And I'm telling you, this has only taken me, what, 5 minutes? In fact, I'm going to run out of damn time on this web call today. So that really is as simple as it gets as far as creating a service tag, if you will. Those service tags can be imported into these units. They can be saved on your devices, or excuse me, on your computer as well. So one of the things I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you real quick some of the different types of labels I've done for companies, if you will. So I'm going to search through my databases real quick, and I don't even know if you can see this on the other end. I'll probably have to share it with you. But let's go into, where is it here? Dun, 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 my documents. All right. And then we'll go into my labels. Now, by default, I can tell you when you install this software. Oh, first of all, let's talk about the software and how to install it. It used to come with CDs, compact discs. Remember those? Oh, I still got a bunch. Now you can go online and you have to download it from Brother. But the key is you can't finish the installation without the serial number on the printer. So that's very important. And the serial number can be found on all these units in the battery compartment. So just look on, or in the PTE 550, once you take the back off, you're going to see the serial number there. So that's very important when you're installing the software, is you do need the serial number there. So one of the other things you can do is, after you create your custom labels, you can actually store them on your PC to bring up at a different time to augment or change or design a different label based upon what you did previously. So what I'm going to show you right now is just a blank screen. Here's what P-Touch Editor looks like in its raw, if you will. Let me go back, and what I'm going to show you now is I'm going to recall a label. And let's go ahead and let's just use this Clean Tools, if you will. What it's doing right now is it is recalling the label. After this comes up, let me go back in. Let me show you exactly what I'm talking about as far as recalling this. So now on your screen is one of the safety labels that you actually see behind me that's been brought up. And again, by default, when you install the software, the P-Touch Editor will create a folder called My Labels to where you can store this. And again, bring them up, augment it any way you can, put different shapes in there, different verbiage. Again, very simple, very easy to do. One of the other exciting features we have is you can take these labels and you can install them on one of the apps that Brother has available to offer. So I'm going to do a screen share right now. I got a really cool piece of software that'll let me share what's on my screen with you out there. So bear with me just a moment. I am going to share this. I'm going to show you the Brother iLincoln label. So coming up now, you should be able to see the Brother iLincoln label. Well, I've got this stored in a folder. The way this works is, as you go in and open up, iLincoln label, you can see now I have got those stored on my iOS device. Now, the beauty of having the iOS device is that you can connect to either one of these printers, the PTE 550W, the PTE 800W, and the PTP 900 series. So if I am more comfortable working on my phone, I can work off this phone. I can augment these labels on my phone, and then I can print to the device. So there's many different ways this software can work in regards to custom labels. Well, with that being said, whether again, you're going to design them on the P-Touch Editor software, you can house them on the machines to change them on the machines and print on the fly, or if you're like myself and you're more comfortable utilizing the app, and it's a free app, utilizing the app, you can print directly from the app to these particular machines via Wi-Fi. And as I touched on last week, the Wi-Fi portion has nothing to do with the internet. It is the connectivity between your iOS or Android device and any one of the Wi-Fi enabled machines, which in this case is going to be the PTE 550W, the PTE 800W, or the PTP 900 series. So there's your recap as far as the software and the apps we're going to go into later episodes. In fact, next week's episode is going to be a more of an in-depth look at the actual apps themselves. So this is just a little teaser for you right now. I will show you how these apps perform with the machines and what you can do as far as changing the data within the apps and then printing to the actual machines in the field itself. So what I went with you today is, we only have a half-hour time. In fact, we're down to 10:25, but it really is that easy to use the software. Again, from printing from mega databases, it's so easy out there. Now imagine you're out in the field and you're trying to hand type these things, and imagine the amount of labor that you're wasting out in the field when, in a sense, you can work directly from a database. Or if you want to do custom labels, incredibly easy to do. These particular labels, and I'll give a shout out to Dan Cobb again, but again, these were done using the P-Touch editor software. Here's some examples of them and their native forms, if you will. All right. And that's pretty darn cool, I got to tell you. And it's crisp and it's clean. And remember those Chinese handcuffs? Anyway, there you go. There it is. Now this particular one, because we wanted to create a 3-inch sticker, it's got the top half and the bottom half. And then what we do is we basically put them together, because again, the desktop printers are going to go up to 1.5 inches. The PTE 550 or 36 millimeter, 1.5 inches. You can get 1-inch labels out of the PTE 550. Oh, these are still going strong. I showed you these last week. All right. So they're still going strong in there. Every week I'll show those. This particular one was put in water. Kind of tough to see on the camera there. This one's actually sitting in oil. So we'll, as these things progress, we're going to show you those things. Send your questions, send your comments. Kelly, what do we got for next week? If you could put that up on the screen, that'd be fantastic. Kelly's going to show a list of the topics with any more questions you have. Oh, by the way, just got word this morning that the templates for what I'm showing you here are now on this particular site. If you don't jot it down, reach out to Mr. Jamie. We'll be more than happy to send you this site. This is up and running and live as of this morning. You will need the P-Touch editor, but they're all done. They're locked down. They're ready to go. So it's just a matter of getting these, importing them into the P-Touch editor software. You're going to need either the PTP series, the PTP 900, 950, or you can use the PTE 800W for these particular labels. But that is really cool stuff. And again, thank you, Dan. It's becoming a very popular topic right now. So coming up next week, Brother Apps. And this was a good segue, and my screen share was a good segue into the Brother Apps. We're going to go into all sorts of apps. And Brother has a plethora of those available. I know that's a big word for me, but I just got through watching The Three Amigos, one of my favorite movies. Anyway, we have a plethora of apps that I'm going to run through next week. I have this cool little screen share that I'll be utilizing. Kelly, if you would, flash up our contact information. There we go, right there. We got Mr. Craig Robinson on board again this week. If you have any questions related to anything brother-wise, reach out. If you need some custom labels done, reach out to me. There's your respective individuals on the screen right now as far as the particular areas that we cover. With that being said, I think we're close to closing time. I hope that you've learned something. If you want to learn more, reach out to me, I should say, and to be more than happy to guide you through the process.